Hope you guys had a great Thursday. Happy Friday. Let's go ahead and jump into this pre-market brief. We have a lot to cover today. We're going to start off by looking at the market coverage, a little bit of market news. We have Walmart earnings overview to look at. Planet Labs was at a Cities conference yesterday, dropped a lot of bombs. Archer is tapping into European markets. We got Broadcom introducing 6G. We got D-Wave expanding in academia. We got Steel Dynamics, securing the supply chain for the US by an acquisition. Visa tapping into Redbull with Formula One and making some acquisitions in Argentina for some tokenization. A lot to cover today. If you want to skip to a portion of your interest, understand that the chapters will be listed below in the video. A lot of information to cover. We are going to start by looking at crypto. We see that it's pushing green, somewhat of a bounce in the sideways trend for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at the averages and see how they ended the day yesterday. We have the Dow Jones ending at negative 0.54%. So it looks like we pulled back yesterday. The S&P ended at negative 0.28% and the NASDAQ ending at negative 0.31%. So a bit of a pullback yesterday, probably in relation to the release of some of that economic data as far as the jobless reports, which we're going to take a look at briefly today later on. But let's take a look and see how global markets are acting right now. We have the KOSPI pushing in the green. Understand that global market exposure is key. Remember, ETF for Korean markets, KOSPI is EWY. It has surged almost 39% on the year. Big gains. Taiwan markets seem to still be closed. And Japanese markets, the Nikkei sitting at negative 1.12. So a little bit of 6-7. We don't know what's going on here. We might have a break-even day today, depending on some of the economic news that is dropped today and other information. European markets are in the green, so that's a solid sign. We got a Stocks 600 overall European markets at plus 0.51%. French markets at plus 0.84%. And German markets, the DAX at plus 0.29%. So they are in the green right now. Let's look at the pre-market and see where we are sitting on the morning. We are pushing green. I told you guys about Comfort Systems, and it is surging right now in the pre-market at plus 5.93%. Big push because of a major earnings beats in earnings per share and in revenue, far exceeding anybody's expectations. But the earnings call is later today at 10 a.m. I will be tuning into that and give you guys the details tomorrow. Let's look at the S&P chart and then we will build from there. I believe we'll look at some economic data, what's going to be released today, and yeah. So S&P, as far as the daily time frame, we see that we're still bouncing, and as predicted yesterday, we hit that peak on Wednesday, and now we're bouncing down. Will we break through that lower bound? We will see. Looking at the 30-minute time frame, there's not too much definition besides that recent peak coming from yesterday's push and then pull back after the market's change in mind. And we're going to see if we're going to push up or start a new downtrend. But this is it's an even low right here. Low, most recent low, might be a head and shoulders for him. You never know. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's look at Bitcoin and build from there. On the daily time frame, we see that we are still stuck in that sideways trend. I don't believe that this is going to change until we get clarity on the Clarity Act. But there's a lot of things going on in the background as far as blockchain, crypto, and finance. So we'll keep an eye on it. It's bouncing right now. Nothing to expect from it. 30-minute time frame is just showing a recent push to the top side, but we have a recent ceiling level of about 68,439 that we are watching, and maybe we'll break through it, maybe we won't. I guess we'll see in the coming hours. But let's go ahead and look at some of this economic data. As in regards to yesterday, we did get jobless claims yesterday, which was lower than expected. And this number, 206,000 compared to the 225,000 that was expected, this number somewhat hinders that proposed Fed rate cut sooner in 2026, which is more than likely why, or probably a major reason why the market pulled back yesterday. Something to note. Also, we had pending home sales come in lower than expected at Let's see what it was. I think it was negative 0.8 pending home sales, negative 0.8%, which has been noted may have been caused by the winter storm that came. So that probably played a role in this being as low as it is. The consensus was 2.5%. But today we get PCE, which is major as far as the consumer is concerned. And we get new home sales coming in around 9 a.m. this morning. Now, I wanted to point this specific information out in regards to the economic data and PCE. Now, most people look at CPI as an inflation gauge and a big determining factor on if the Fed is going to cut or not. Not too many people pay attention to PCE, which may need to be the case. It doesn't get too much media attention, but we may need to change our minds. It says, this Friday can see some significant movement in U.S. financial markets. That's because on Friday morning, February 20th at 8:30 a.m., hopefully before this gets out, probably not because got so much to pack into today. The Bureau of Economic Analysis will publish the Fed's preferred measure of inflation, and personal consumption expenditure price index. Now, while many investors may pay more attention to the consumer price index, CPI, and it tends to get more immediate attention, the Fed actually prefers the PCE price index. And the reason why is because the PCE price index offers a broader and more comprehensive measure of inflation and more quickly picks up adjustments in consumers' choices in response to price changes. So that may play a major role in if and when the Fed Reserve may be cutting rates. Let's continue on that track with a little bit of news coming out today. We have AST Space Mobile, one of my favorite space stocks. They have encapsulated their next satellite to launch in late February with Blue Origin. So a little information that's dropped on Facebook. Yes, I follow them on all social platforms, as I do most of the companies that I'm invested in, because social media is a form of press release nowadays. But great news to see that in motion. Another headline: SpaceX and Blue Origin abruptly shift priorities amid U.S. Golden Dome push. So instead of SpaceX and Elon focusing on Mars and all these other explorations, they are focused on the moon race, on lunar expansion. So that's a good sign, something to look up if you are into the space economy. One major piece of news: hopefully in March we get this launch of astronauts to and around the moon, not on it yet. That will be coming, I believe, 27 or 28. But the moon mission fielding test concludes with no major problems. We love to see it. We love to see it. Looking forward to that launch. Kind of downplaying it now because my guess is that it's going to get delayed again, but we shall see. Next up, we had the SEC. They actually had a conference, I believe it's called ETH Denver 2026, where SEC's Pearson Atkins outlined incremental path forward for the tokenized securities as agency readies innovation exemption. Now, the main point we want to recognize in this headline is the innovation exemption. And what it means by that is that this tokenization exemption would facilitate limited trading of certain tokenized securities on novel platforms with an eye toward developing a long-term regulatory framework, Atkins said on Wednesday. So it just gives the opportunity for exploration and innovation instead of just restrictions and saying this doesn't work and this isn't functional, even though we have no idea how this token operates, how it trades, and what type of guidelines should be set for. So it just gives room for innovation and the opportunity to constructively develop regulation for all of these different type of assets that will be taking advantage of the tokenization asset. Let's take a break from a little bit of news and talk about VIX, Conference Systems USA. This stock released their earnings yesterday, and I'm telling you guys, if you don't have this in your portfolio for this AI and industrial boom, it's just wow. Chart is freaking amazing. I would cuss there, but so yesterday they released their earnings in the aftermarket hours with an earnings per share beat, actual $9.37 per share. you know that in the last earnings that I've been putting out, people have been making cents, 21 cents, 23 cents, $9.37 per share is what you're making as an investor, which is crazy. Versus the $6.77 estimated. That's $3 more. Earlier this week, we were talking about 1 to 2, maybe 3 cents more, 10 cents being major. This is $3 more than analysts estimated. Revenue beat, 2.65 billion versus 2.35 billion. If you don't understand how important this company is to the backbone and the build out of AI and the industrial infrastructure, you're lost. You're just lost. And they're not giving it any media time. I'm telling you, man, they have their earnings call at 10 a.m. Let's finish up some of these news articles, and then we're going to get into our Walmart earnings overview of their call that they took yesterday. Just a little bit more information on the SEC making room for stable coins and the crypto market. This just puts stable coins on the level of money market accounts, so it makes it more appealing to finance industries. They don't have to hold as much liquidity on their accounts to make these a part of their balance sheet. So it just makes them more usable. But let's get into this Walmart earnings call, which was phenomenal. One thing I wanted to point out before we get into detail is the difference between the Walmart earnings call versus the DoorDash earnings call. Now, if you're an investor, long-term investor, listening to these calls is premium because it gives you an eye into the CFO, the CEOs, and how they function, how they operate, how they connect with stakeholders and investors and the general market analysts and things along those lines. Now, with yesterday's call, note I said that there was no culture there. It was only about numbers. On the Walmart call, it was all about culture. It was all about the customer. That's their focus. Even when it came to AI and its involvement in their company, their focus is to invest in companies, in partnerships that are pushing AI and specialize in that, while they stay focused on the customer, on that relationship, on getting them what they want and understanding what they need to do to satisfy and cultivate that relationship. Big difference in the call, big difference in the, I would say, even the numbers. Company culture is a heavy determinant on the longevity, sustainability, and the profitability of a company. DoorDash may hit numbers, but if their culture doesn't change and doesn't develop and isn't, I would say, homely, I guess you could say, or at least show some type of care towards customers, drivers, everybody who works under them, then they may be successful, but it will only be to a certain limit. With Walmart experiencing exponential success and longevity. But let's get into some of these points. I think I'm just going to run through these very quickly for you guys because we have a lot to get to. I want to talk about Planet Labs and the meeting that they had at that conference yesterday. Major news dropped there, and I'll probably run through those points also. But let's get into it. Walmart earnings recap. So one of the major points they noted is that global market sales are up in general. Walmart is always outperforming. The global customer is healthy. They saw the majority of their share gains coming from households making over 100K. They still did see the stretching of wallets when it came to those households making under 50K, which is in reference to the K-shaped economy, which I want to note that there is a Fed Reserve chair that said that he had been speaking about this K-shaped economy for decades, and nobody has paid too much attention to it up until now. So I believe that this K-shaped economy has been here for probably centuries when it comes to the difference in spending habits and the difference in ability between the earnings potential and the earnings levels. So I think it's just a lot of hype for something that's just regular. Other than that, they saw heavy consumer growth in delivery and prioritizing convenience. So delivery has been booming. They have implemented AI heavily in a pilot, and they have seen about a 35% increase in the average order value when utilizing AI to help create those carts and push out that information to the rest of the company. So they will be growing that on the US platforms and then pushing that out to their international market. One thing to note, like I said earlier, their focus when it comes to AI is to let the AI partnerships and those companies focus on specializing in that area and developing it, along with Google and OpenAI is one of their major connections, and allowing them to integrate that information, integrate that technology into their company. So it is solid. One other thing to note that's major when it comes to Walmart is that they are experiencing a third year of growing profits, even through tariffs, even through the headwinds in the past macro economy and the supply chain sustainability or instability, that has been experienced over the last few years. Other than that, their major earnings growth was in e-commerce and delivery. They did make a point about their OnePay credit card, which is the fintech platform that I use for my bank. Love them, have been using them for 6 years. But they say that is doing very successful. They also said that there's a lot of companies, as noted by most of the industry, that are taking a lot of money and capital expenditure and spending on specifically developing AI and future tech in their companies, where Walmart doesn't have to do as much because of their partnerships and the way that they develop their company. The tech is already there. The foundation is there and set up for AI and all these things to be integrated. So it won't be at a heavy cost to their profit margins in the long run. One other major point to note about what they talked about on this call, they tracked their inflation as regards to their overall products, and it was at or below right around 1%. Let's just note that. That is the real effect of the past tariffs or last year's tariffs on Walmart's numbers. 1%. Way lower than a 2%. Now, let's get to Planet Labs, man. They attended the City's 2026 Industrial Tech and Mobility Conference yesterday, and I watched it on the webcast, and man, the information that they dropped is basically in line with everything that I have been explaining about the premium opportunity in this company. So let's get through these points very quickly. They discussed the importance of the Munich Security Conference that Marco Rubio, if you didn't see that video, it's in it's on the channel. But Marco Rubio discussed how hugely important it is for Europe to develop its own defenses and to be able to withstand or uphold itself against its rivals, enemies, and things along those lines, and then be able to help its partners in the global sphere. Let me get through these points, guys. It's a major difference. The reason why this company is so unique and uniquely placed is because it scans the entire planet once per day. Every day, that company understands what is going on this planet. And there's no satellite company that does that. There's no intelligence company that does that. That information, that data, for the past 10 years has been collecting. And what that gives is it gives culture, it gives movements, it gives life patterns, it gives key information about the movement of militaries, the movement of economies, the building up of a country, the destruction. All these little pieces that gives you a whole picture of a lifestyle, of the workings of a country that may be key in movements, military objectives, and other things. But what they noticed that AI has been the key to unlocking this information, because parsing through all of that data every single day, getting those images, isolating the information necessary for the objective that a company or entity is asking for was challenging. But AI speeds that up. Quantum is going to highly optimize that once it begins to be applied. But they were noting that Europe was prime for the opportunity, especially for this build out in defense that is going to take about 5 to 10 years. So this company has a huge leeway over the next few years in regards to profits, revenues, connections, partnerships, opportunity. It's out of this world, the opportunity that they have. One thing to note that I did not know about this company is that they have partnerships with the AI company Anthropic, and they are heavily implementing LLMs, or large language learning models, which is key. They noted that they do have large U.S. customers, and one of their major customers, the U.S. Navy, had them monitoring, and is probably still monitoring, the South China Sea in regards to Taiwan and that arena, which is cool. And one other thing that they put out there was the fact that they wanted to prove their effectiveness. So they had this contract with Brazil, and Brazil wanted to decrease the amount of deforestation as far as the Amazon is concerned. So people cutting down trees where they don't need them to be cut down, because we're preserving nature. And then drug trafficking. And with this partnership with Planet Labs, Brazil was able to see a huge decrease in deforestation and drug trafficking, which is big. They got 19 deals in the workings, probably majority of them coming from that Munich conference last week. And just the timeline that they have is huge, man. Other than that, other points that was noted is that they wanted to push caution on their partnership with Google right now and the idea of data centers in space. They said it's probably like a 10-year horizon. I would say that it's a 5-year horizon, because we have no idea how fast technology can accelerate, especially with quantum helping to optimize a lot of things and may be able to slingshot this technological investment necessary for that. And that they are the leader of launching observation satellites. Although SpaceX is the leader of communication satellites, they hold that title. One thing majorly to know, so you know that I am invested in Rocket Labs also. Who do they subscribe to launch their satellites? SpaceX, which should be IPOing soon, possibly, and then Rocket Labs. And this is why everything is connected in this portfolio. I'm telling you guys, Rocket Labs, Planet Labs, AST Space Mobile, this space economy is growing at an exponential rate. And if you catch it now, you may be set up for huge gains in the next 3 to 5 years. But let's get to some news, guys. So big news for Archer Aviation. They select Bristol as home for its UK engineering hub. They are expanding their reach into the European arena along with their partnership with Anduril. Archer's It says here that Archer today announced that it has selected Bristol as the home of its UK engineering hub, which will support some of the company's most advanced engineering initiatives across both its commercial and defense programs. Archer's defense work is anchored by a strategic partnership with Anduril, which selected Archer as exclusive partner to develop the hybrid electric vehicle VTOL aircraft tailored for the U.S. and allied defense applications. But this is just a major program that is happening in the European space, and Archer's just taking advantage of it, just like Planet Labs. Europe has to build out its defenses, and all of these American companies have the opportunity to take part in that, because Europe has been lackluster in developing the companies, the economies, the opportunity, the innovation environment, the innovative environment to build out the tech, defense, and military objectives that they need within the next 5 years. So this is big. Other than that, we have Broadcom introducing the first 6G, which is crazy. We just got done with 5G, but I guess there's more. 6G digital front end SoC for massive MIMO. So this is an architectural framework for computer chips for those who aren't tech savvy. And the main things that it's going to provide is going to bring 100 times AI learning speeds, 40% reduction in power, which is huge because the one thing that AI needs and it's sucking dry is energy right now. And then it's a faster 6G for data handling. So that is pretty solid news for Broadcom, which is the chip maker for Apple and other major companies in the arena. I believe their partnership with Nvidia too. So that's pretty huge. Other than that, we have D-Wave Quantum. We love Quantum over here. Finally got a press release at the end of this month, but they are stepping into academia. So it says, today, D-Wave today joined the Southwestern Quantum Collaborative as an inaugural member, along with the University of Alabama in Huntsville, Davidson Technologies, IBM, and Alabama A&M University. The SQC will bring together academia, industry, and governments to accelerate the advancement of application of quantum information, science, and technology across the Southeast. In addition, it aims to develop the quantum-ready workforce needed to commercialize the technology. Given Davidson hosts a D-Wave Advantage 2 system at its headquarters in Huntsville, Alabama, D-Wave is well positioned to support the SQC's quantum workforce development efforts. This is just a push in the right direction. We have to develop the environments, the communities to push this technology to the limit. Not only supporting the companies, but creating the educational pathways that pushes the innovation of all of these new technologies for us to be leaders in it as America the free. Two other pieces of news to cover, and that is going to be it for today. I know it has been a lot today. We have been jumping here to and fro on this news, but the market's moving and it doesn't stop. And we want to take advantage of it to make this money, baby boy. We want to be able to fire our boss in the next 1 to 5 years. So we got to do the work. So Steel Dynamics today, or I believe yesterday, put in an offer to acquire 100% of BlueScope Steel. And this is a company in Australia. So what this is doing is helping secure the U.S. supply chain as far as certain materials are concerned. Even though this company is located in Australia, it just helps integrate that connection between another good producer of steel products and steel materials. So nice move by Steel Dynamics. If you want to see that stock, it is STLD. Boom, definitely in the portfolio. Solid, steady on the daily time frame. Beautiful exponential curve on the monthly time frame. Solid company. Last but not least, we have Visa. We're wrapping it up, guys. I know it's been a lot. We got Visa renewing its partnership with Redbull. You know that Formula One is major. Season is about to open. Cadillac, GM, General Motors, Cadillac is one of the new American teams, American constructors, full American, that's going to be on the circuit this year. So that's huge. But this is just helping out Visa as far as promotional opportunities and its connection to Red Bull, which is always solid when it comes to your company. And this may be somewhat of a crypto point to make. Visa acquiring Prisma Medios de Pago and NuPay in Argentina. Remember, we just helped the new president of Argentina win that election, so that may have played a part in getting this acquisition through the numbers. But one thing to note, let's see if I can find it very quickly. I believe it's right here. Upon closing, the combined technology platforms of Prisma and NuPay together with Visa's global network and value-added services will accelerate the deployment of advanced technologies such as tokenization. If you don't think this regulation is going to pass and you're not either averaging down in your position in the crypto markets, telling you, you are missing out. They're doing all these things in the background, keeping this market pulled down so that everybody can get set up. The major industries and the major institutions. Biometric authentication, intelligent risk tools, and agentic AI commerce solution. These end-to-end capabilities will improve services from issuers and enhance speed and security for consumers while delivering agnostic processing that supports any card brand processed by Prisma and all payment methods offered by NuPay. So nice move by Visa. But other than that, guys, not too much else. Right now, it is 6:20 in the morning. Looking at the pre-market, we are still pushing green. VIX has dropped in its surge to about 4.77%. I think it's a little bit of a break even. We have mostly small to mid caps surging, foreign markets, and then in the pullback we have some of the majors, but pretty break even day. We'll see what the day brings in regards to news being dropped and things along those lines. Other than that, guys, don't forget to stock the future. Once again, like, share, and subscribe. If there's any stocks that you would like me to specifically analyze and do a chart analysis of, and then go into details about their financials and fundamentals, feel free to comment it below. I will add it into one of these videos. You will have a section so you don't have to watch the whole entire video if you don't want to see that portion of the video regarding the stock or company that you wanted me to give my opinion on. But other than that, none of this information is financial advice. Make sure you do your due diligence. Tap into a certified financial advisor if you're looking for detailed information. Stock the future, because in 1 to 5 years we want to be able to fire our boss. We are building that financial foundation that we want and that we want the next generation to have. So don't forget to stock the future. I will see you guys tomorrow in regards to conference systems and any new news in the market. And I will talk with you guys later. Have a great Friday. Peace.